86 Charles is brought to you by Amazon. Go to 86charles.com and click on the Amazon link. Amazon is the perfect place to start prepping for the end, now that the Donald is president. The apocalypse is nigh.
I think some of that is just learned. It's instinctual. We all want to avoid getting hit. It's instinctual from the beginning of time. You have defense mechanisms that you use. Some kids are better at it than others. I felt like it was something that I had. I was lucky that I had the ability to not take a full-on hit, to turn your shoulder sometimes, or to crouch, or to do whatever you need to do to avoid that really big hit. Sometimes you can't.
My friend, I will sue you for everything you have. I will sue your ass.
Welcome to 86 Charles, with your hosts John Darby and Travis Spencer.
And with that, welcome to 86 Charles, Travis Rush Spencer. How are you, sir?
Yes. Well, I'm great because I just got my ID in the mail from Arizona, and it's still my picture when I was 16 years old.
Nice.
But now it says Travis Rush Spencer, and it's good till 2057.
At least to let you keep the original picture, though, when you were in your prime.
That's how Arizona rolls. It's not California, the nanny state, man. I enjoy that about Arizona. I want to get my car registered in Arizona. I want to pretend that I live in Arizona, and then I want to live in California.
Yeah. The best way to live in Arizona is to pretend you live in Arizona.
Yeah, for the tax breaks, bro. That's
Sure.
it. John.
Yes.
What are we talking about today? You're all pumped up. I can tell.
I live in a constant state of being pumped up whenever the snake is mentioned. I love Jake Plummer. I don't want to say hero, but if I were to have a hero, I think it would be Jake Plummer, which is weird because he's only like 6 years older than me. But he's in my estimation, in my opinion, in my humble belief, he's the greatest living American on the planet.
The greatest living American.
I mean, we need there's not a lot of people I would want to change lives with. I like who I am, even though I've accomplished virtually nothing. He's one of the guys that I would highly consider living his life.
It's such a weird thing to say. I don't get it. Why don't you just live your own life
I am.
instead?
Obviously, it's not an option. But I feel like, okay. I'll explain that. There's a lot of people that probably envy a lot of lives, that would probably want to be a lot of different people. I'm not one of those people. I don't feel that way. I wouldn't want to be Michael Jordan. No, I don't want that. I have no interest in that. There's very few people that ever existed that I'd be like, ooh, I'd be tempted to switch lives with that person. He's one of them.
Why don't you just be John F. Derby?
I mean,
is that your middle name, F?
There's no choice. It's not like I live a life wishing I was Jake Plummer. But in those moments that you think of such things, yeah, I would consider it.
Here's what I don't get. Like, you didn't even see like the seminal moment in his career. You know, you don't. The Rose Bowl game against Ohio State was incredible. That was the game where you fell in love with Jake Plummer.
I mean, I've seen it. I didn't see it live, no. And I wasn't as passionate at the time because I didn't know who he was.
I mean, we're both from Tucson. I was always a U of A fan growing up. I ended up going to Arizona State. But at the time, I was like, I hated ASU. And then like that moment, seeing Jake play, you're like, all right, I like this guy.
Yeah.
He's good. He's amazing.
I completely agree.
But they lost that game, John.
But that was not the seminal moment of his career by any stretch. Maybe of his college career, maybe.
All right. So let's talk about Jake Plummer, the man. He retired from football to play handball, correct?
No, incorrect. 100% incorrect. He retired.
Why did he retire?
Because Mike Shanahan drafted Jay Cutler, and after Jake Plummer had made an AFC championship appearance, Mike Shanahan decided he wanted Cutler to be the guy. So he was going to trade Jake Plummer, and Jake Plummer didn't want to play for John Gruden in Tampa Bay. And he felt like after 10 years in the league, he wanted to just be released. He wanted to go pick where he played the rest of his career. And with that not being an option, he decided he would rather retire than be told that he has to go play in Tampa Bay for the quarterback shuffler, John Gruden.
Well, and I also think that Jake Plummer's a smart guy, and he saw the revolution of CTE, and you see guys that are beating the head if you play football for your life. You know what I'm saying? It's like he saw the wave coming as well. Like getting out early. There was just a guy from the Jaguars just signed him, and he just retired before ever playing a game.
Brandon Albert.
Yeah, exactly. And who was the guy last year, the rookie? Like he was all defensive rookie or something on the 49ers. What's that guy's name? He also retired.
Well, I think the thought
You're supposed to
process
know
on
those
that
things.
has shifted though. It used to be I would rather play a year too long and make them drag me off. But I feel like a lot of guys now are coming around to, you know what? I'd rather leave a year early and make sure I can remember what I had for breakfast.
Yeah, in football, every other sport, it's the exact opposite. That's how it has to be. But dude, what was the study? 87% of the people they tested had CTE, former NFL players.
But that's
you know
not
what study I'm talking
But
about?
that's for that sample size. That's not just an across the board number. That's for guys that all volunteered to do that because they all suspected they had CTE.
Okay, still, either way.
I get it. It's
That's
a disturbing
lot out of
number. I'm not trying to
116.
downplay it. It's a disturbing number, and it's
No, that's
obviously a
exactly
trend.
what you're trying to do.
But that's not saying like 87% of the guys that play football have CTE. That's not true.
Okay, but even in a sample size like that, 50% is too high. I'll tell you that.
Any percent is probably too high for a recreational sport. Probably any percent.
Well, especially
is too
for
high.
it to not be a concern. You can't have the majority. Like in the NFL is like the worst. They've just
Dude,
been
if
dragging
one
this out
guy
for so
gets it,
long.
You should be concerned. If one guy plays football and gets
Yeah.
CTE, you should be concerned, and you should look into it.
This is why I'm quitting playing fantasy football. I can't do it anymore. As long as we keep watching football, this is going to keep happening. So let's just make another sport and do something different.
I mean, that's like saying I'm not going to watch any movies that have cigarettes in them because it's funding
talking
cigarettes.
about, John?
It's like, no, people are aware of the dangers and still choose to do it. There's a huge difference. It's one thing if people
Right, but
don't
that's been
know
the
it's
problem up
dangerous.
to this
It's another
point.
thing if they know it's dangerous and continue to do it.
That's been the problem up to this point is through NFL fucking lies and hidden bullshit. They've covered up the fact of how terrible it is. They've been buying documentaries that won't sell and shit like that for years. It's fucking insane.
Right, but at any point, did anybody think that football was a healthy sport? At any point, did you think that smashing your head into another guy's head was healthy for you? Was a good thing to do?
Me?
Anybody?
John, there's a lot of dumb people
come
out
on,
there.
Man, people have you. You can't say, and even people back in the 30s, 40s, 50s that smoked cigarettes before the warning was on there. Did they honestly think that they were? Oh, this could be harmless. No, you're putting fire into your lungs. It's putting smoke in your lungs. You have to know that that's bad for you. Maybe
John,
you
but
don't know
it's
how
so
bad.
delicious.
Maybe you don't want to face the reality of it, and maybe you needed more information to know exactly how bad. But the whole time you knew, probably not good for you.
But what if they're like it's a light blue packaging, it's very nice, and they're called American Spirits, and they have this nice little eagle on them. They're different, man. They're beautiful.
No.
They're beautiful. They don't hurt me.
If
They don't hurt
in
me
your
at all,
head you're
John.
like, this is probably good for me, this is the same for my body as eating a carrot, you're a fool. And you're not long for this world
No.
anyways. So
I don't
whatever's
think
going
it's
to kill
a
you,
carrot.
it's going
That's
to
the
get you.
orange package.
I'm just saying. But way off the
All
topic.
right. Well, okay. We'll get back to Jake Plummer. Tell me one more thing about him. Tell me everything about him.
I mean, I can't one thing or everything. It can't be it's you talk about a well-balanced human being. You talk about a talented individual, open-minded, good-hearted. That's the Snake. By the way, nickname comes from Jake the Snake Roberts, the wrestler, for those that don't know. He's not nicknamed after Kenny Stabler. He's nicknamed after Jake the Snake Roberts.
Dude, he's like next level. That's some next level shit.
Well, I'm
Jake
just saying.
Plummer.
His connection is a wrestling connection, which makes it a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me! Are you kidding me? I've seen a ghost. John, that's Jake the Snake Roberts.
They call me Jake the Snake. I'm fly as can be. I'm 13, flirting with every girl that I see.
Plummer in trouble, steps away, cuts free, breaks loose, 5, Touchdown, Sun Devils. The snake does it again. This team won't die.
I'm ready to start. Get it going, get it flowing, get the party started. I bring you the facts and nothing but the facts, so help me, Charles. 86 Charles means 86. 86, of course, is a term that you're no longer welcome. You're out and expired. We have no more of you. We're out of that product. You are 86. 86 Charles. Best show, greatest show of all time. Yeah, it's 86 Mr. Charles. I refer to Charles, 86 Charles, 86charles.com. It's a good show. Best show, greatest show of all time. For Mr. Charles, who's 86 Charles, this is Charles. Charles 86 himself. Say, hey, man, time to go. Get the f*** out of here. You're 86. Boop, 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 boop.
Nickel what? 5 topics currently trending. Travis, when was the last time you went on a treasure hunt?
Probably last time I looked for a Jake Plummer ASU baseball card.
I don't know why you'd call it a baseball card.
That's what I'm still looking for.
Did he play baseball at ASU?
No, but or maybe a handball card. He had to do something else there. I'm sure he did.
Oh, dude, if they had a series of handball cards, I'd be all over that.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
However, Travis, even though Jake Plummer's a national treasure, I'm talking about actual treasure. Body found in river could be missing treasure hunter. The hunt for a treasure chest said to contain millions in gold may have claimed its 3rd victim. Eric Ashby, 31, went missing last month while searching for the treasure art dealer Forrest Fenn claims to have hidden in the Rocky Mountains. Now with the discovery of a body in the Arkansas River, friends and family of Ashby fear he might be victim of a hunt that has already claimed the lives of 2 Colorado men. The family said Ashby moved to Colorado in April 2016 to search for the treasure, which is said to be hidden somewhere in the Rocky Mountains, a region that stretches 3,000 miles from Canada to New Mexico. He was last seen on June 28th rafting the Arkansas River in Colorado's Fremont County with other people. The raft overturned and pulled multiple people into the river, but Ashby never resurfaced. 1 month after his disappearance, Fremont police found human remains in the Arkansas River east of Florence, Colorado. The remains have not yet been identified, but the body was found 10 to 15 miles downstream from where the raft overturned. Fremont police said Ashby is the only person who is known to have gone missing in the river. If the victim is positively identified as Ashby, this will mark the 3rd life claimed by a treasure hunt that authorities have actively discouraged people from taking part in. Fenn, the art dealer, who claims to have hidden the $2 million treasure, seemed against the idea of calling it off. Quote, if someone drowns in the swimming pool, we shouldn't drain the pool, he wrote in an email to the New York Times. We should teach people to swim. Now, Fenn shares his condolences to the Ashby family and urges other hunters to practice caution, but still shares no plans of calling off the hunt. Should we go look for it, dude?
John,
You're a mountain man. We'd probably be fine.
This is very, very problematic. I don't think that you quite get that, like, the artist is actually a serial killer. So people are going to hunt on this path. He knows where they're going to be at the time they're going to be once they tell him, oh, I'm going to start. And he just gets to fucking murk people left and right, man. Like,
interesting.
You're going to go for $2 million, how many people he's going to kill, and then he's, like, making a documentary about it, or he's trapping them or something, or maybe, I don't know.
What if it's even just as simple as he just wants people to kill themselves, and he knows they'll do it for $2 million?
It could be that, too. He just wants to see it. He gets it on videotape. Yeah.
Because I feel like yours is the movie version of that story, but maybe the actual version of that story is, he just wants people to kill themselves, and he knows they'll do it looking for $2 million in a stretch of land that they can't possibly survive.
Is that the new greatest game? Is that the greatest game rather than Hunting Man? I mean, he's still hunting. I mean, just getting them to kill themselves?
Yeah, I mean,
for money? They're hunting for your money. Capitalism. Oh, my God. That's it, right?
It's the whole story's weird, though. It's Forrest Fenn. You would think that there'd be some kind of law against this, but I guess not.
Like, it's just buried. How much information do we actually have about, like, what is available to the hunter? Was there any of that?
What do you mean?
Like, what does the hunter, like, they just think it's out there? That's it? Or are there like clues that
I
the
don't know.
artist
That's
has set
I don't
up?
know enough of the backstory in terms of how much information people have in terms of where it is or what clues they have. But if you're going to uproot your life and move to Colorado to go look for this, I have to imagine you've done more research than I did.
Right. Well, I'm assuming he's put clues throughout the internet or something like that. He's trying to lure them.
No.
You know? That's what's happening. John, it's a gamble.
It's a very strange story.
It's a gamble going out there, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I would have to go with you, my Sherpa.
Yeah. Well, you would need somebody that can survive, being outside for more than an hour at a time. When's the last time you've been outside for more than like 2 hours?
Dude, I went and played ball like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. John, speaking of gambling, you know that there's a bookie in Ireland that solely is in business taking Donald Trump bets. He's big business.
I did not know that, and it sounds like an awful business model.
There are more bets placed on the Donald man than on boxing, motor racing, or even his favorite sport, golf. So betting giant Power Patty decided to advertise for the industry's only dedicated Trump bookmaker. More than 100 people from around the world applied for the job, including one who worked in Trump's casinos. Last week, the father of two, Joe, 35, started the job, which will be his for as long as Trump remains president. John, this amazing man, Joe, has some great bets. Tell me what you think you would put money on, okay? Paint the White House gold 500 to 1. You put money on that?
No.
Would you?
I'd like to see it, but no, I wouldn't put
That
money
would be
on it.
pretty dope. Just hang Trump along the front and just golden.
I mean, you talk about an FU.
Yeah. That's how you do it. John, 50 to 1. France will request a return of the Statue of Liberty. Is that a good bet?
No, they don't have the balls.
Yeah, that would be like, why would you want it back? It's fucking filthy and disgusting. Like, nobody wants that shit. 4 to 1, John.
It was a nice gift, though. Don't downplay that. It was generous.
Oh, at the time, yeah, but look at it now. John, to play a round of golf with Barack Obama, 4 to 1. That's a pretty good bet. 4 to 1.
I might put a bet. I mean, is there a time frame on that?
Not on this.
Because I don't think it'll happen while he's president, but after the fact,
Right.
I could see that happening.
But 4 to 1, that's pretty shitty odds for that. Like, these are really bad odds, actually. Oh, this is a good one, John. To grow a Hitler mustache, 66 to 1.
I don't think I'd put money on any. I mean, who was the last one that did it? Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan nailed it. He killed that Hanes commercial.
Yeah. Like he was the last one that even really attempted it, and he pulled it off, but it's not like he didn't hear about it.
You got to respect the man, and you have to hate him at the same time. You know? It's weird.
Who,
Yeah.
Jordan? Why would you ever hate him?
Because he thought he could bring
Unless
back
you're
the Hitler
Patrick
mustache.
Ewing or something.
It's not hate. It's not hate. It's just comedy.
And no, I think the opposite. I think you would actually have to, hey, tip of the cap, man. Take the Hitler stash back from Hitler.
Wow.
Like I feel like that was a sign of solidarity with his Jewish brothers.
And I guess with all of humanity, really, John.
Exactly. Yeah, sure.
All right,
I
John.
think it extends that far.
Couple more real fast. 14 to 1 that a Trump sex tape will be leaked online. That's a decent bet.
Yeah, I would probably put some money on that.
That's the
actually.
most
I could see
realistic
that
one.
happening for sure.
Trump to confirm he has had hair surgery, 2 to 1. Like, why would he say it now?
To confirm, like him personally saying it, I don't think would ever happen. But
I mean, it's already confirmed, but.
yeah, no, we know.
All right, John, what's next? It's enough. It's enough about this Trump nonsense.
Man, what a smooth transition that was.
Ah.
All right, so let's talk about. We'll shift from his absolutely flawed DNA to a flawed yet more unique DNA. How one man's DNA may help end the deadly opioid crisis. All sorts of strategies have been offered up as ways to stem the nation's opioid crisis, from new drug warning labels to new laws aimed at making it hard for patients to get multiple prescriptions for the powerful and powerfully addictive drugs. But opioid overdoses continue at a tragic pace each day. They claim the lives of about 78 Americans every day. The crisis is fueled in part when people suffering from chronic pain turn to opioids in an effort to curb their often debilitating discomfort. Scientists have been working to develop pain-killing medications that work as effectively as opioids without carrying the risk of addiction. Unfortunately, these efforts have met with little success. But ironically, new research on a rare genetic condition known as chronic insensitivity to pain, or CIP, could soon lead to the development of such drugs. Just a few hundred people around the world suffer from CIP. One is Stephen Pete, a 36-year-old drug dependency counselor in Kelso, Washington. Like others with the disorder, Pete is impervious to pain of all kinds. Cut a finger, touch a hot stove, Pete doesn't feel a thing. Pete was diagnosed with CIP when he was just a few months old. Quote, I was teething and I ended up chewing a good portion of the tip of my tongue off, he recalls. My parents rushed me to a pediatrician and he held a lighter to the bottom of my foot. I didn't show any response and he was like, yeah, I'm pretty certain this is what he's got. As a child, Pete broke bones more times than he can remember, often when he tried dangerous stunts to impress his peers. His left knee is now so badly damaged that he faces the prospect of having his left leg amputated. Quote, CIP is such a rare condition partly because very few individuals who have it reach adulthood, says Dr. Ingo Kurth, who studies the condition at the Institute of Human Genetics in somewhere Germany. Many end up killing themselves because they don't understand what constitutes a harmful situation. For the better part of 3 decades, Pete had little idea of the precise defect in his DNA that caused him to have CIP. But in 2012, he was contacted by a small biotech company in Canada. Xenon Pharmaceuticals was using Facebook to track down people with CIP in order to sequence their DNA through saliva samples. Pete obliged, and he, like many others with CIP, was found to have a mutation in a particular gene known as SCNP9A. The findings suggest that it may be possible to develop painkillers that work not by mimicking the body's natural pain-killing endorphins, but by blocking the transmission of pain signals within the body.
Whoa. That's intense, man.
That's crazy, man.
I couldn't even imagine. That's such a strange thing. Like, you think you're invincible.
To not feel pain, that's insane.
There's a lot of pain inside, I'm sure.
And your first instinct is to think that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But dude might end up losing his leg because he just tore his knee to pieces because he couldn't feel it.
Dude, that's the new metal band name, though. Chronic Insensitivity to Pain. CIT. Pretty dope band name.
Should have decided to be Batman.
Batman?
Yeah, if you got CIP, you should totally be Batman.
Just go out. Yeah, that's what we should do. Like, if there was a real Bruce Wayne, maybe Elon Musk will do it, right? Like, he'll just find these people and just give them in super suits. It could happen. Dude, it's about to happen. Batman is about to happen.
Yeah, this is crazy. But hopefully they find a way to get rid of opioids because they're pretty toxic.
Yeah, people need to smoke marijuana. Cannabis is much better. You don't have to smoke it. There's so many ways to take it now. Opioids, get away from those. Disgusting.
Yeah, but it's still I still think in certain cases, though, you probably still need something stronger. I mean, fortunately, and I'll knock on what I got, that I've never really been in that kind of pain, and I hope I never am.
I agree, but find the root of the pain and get to it. And the pot will help you get to the root of the pain. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, not always.
It goes both ways. But, John, we have...
Yeah, can you imagine if they create a whole race of people that can't feel pain? Oh, my God.
Well, they're coming, and they're going to be matched up with artificial intelligence, John. That's what's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. I hate, that's the one thing I hate about stories like this is on the surface, it seems like, oh, cool, they're going to find a way to get rid of opioids. And I immediately start thinking, I'm like, nope, they're finding a way to build super soldiers.
Yeah, and super opioids. They have shit that's like
probably
3,500 times stronger than heroin. It's fucking insane. It's disgusting, John. It's absolutely disgusting.
Future's usually bleak.
John, don't worry, though. We're going to be saved soon. Artificial intelligence is here. You're a Facebook user, right, John?
Oh, okay. Sure.
All right, well, guess what? Facebook's artificial intelligence robots were shut down after they started their own language. Ooh, it's coming, John. Facebook shut down 2 artificial intelligences that appeared to be chatting to each other in a strange language only they understood. The 2 chatbots came to create their own changes to English that made it easier for them to work, but which remained mysterious for the humans that supposedly look after them. Ooh. The bizarre discussion came as Facebook challenged its chatbots to try and negotiate with each other over a trade, attempting to swap hats, balls, and books, each of which were given a certain value. But they quickly broke down as the robots appeared to chant at each other in a language that they each understood, but which appears mostly incomprehensible to humans. The robots had been instructed to work out how to negotiate between themselves and improve their bartering as they went along. The actual negotiations appear very odd and don't look especially useful. The first one, Bob, I, everything else. Alice, balls have 0 to me. 2. Bob, you, I, everything else. Alice, balls have a ball to me. Bob, I, everything else. Alice, balls have a ball to me. You get the idea, John. So it's this weird, like, maybe they're breaking down to binary or something. But there appear to be some rules to the speech. The way the chatbots keep stressing their own names appears to be part of their negotiations, not simply a glitch in the way the message read out. Indeed, some of the negotiations that were carried out in this bizarre language even ended up successfully concluding their negotiations while conducting them entirely in the bizarre language. It's unlikely that the language is a precursor to new forms of human speech, according to linguist Mark Lieberman. In the first place, it's entirely text-based, which human languages are all basically spoken, with text being an artificial overlay. And beyond that, it's unclear that the process yields a system with the kinds of word, phrase, and sentence structures characteristics of human languages. No shit. This is pretty fascinating, John. We're getting to the point where literally it's happening. The robots are talking to each other, and it might be binary, and for right now, it might be something we understand. But it's not going to be long before it just takes off, and we have no idea what they're saying, and they're processing information faster than we know, and then it's going to come really fucking quick, man. The synchronicity.
Well, but look at how we change language to communicate with each other. I mean, as generations go on, we change the language completely, right, because it's a different and maybe more efficient way to communicate with each other. So take something that's exponentially smarter than us working together. Yeah, of course, they're going to change our language to make it suit themselves better. Right.
And it's going to happen, like, because it's so advanced, I think it's just going to happen overnight where it becomes really fast and becomes a problem really fast.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
You think about us processing information in our dumb meat suits, like, we have no idea. These are like I mean, they will be able to break
look
up
at how long it took for us to take the word bad and make it mean something good. They're doing stuff like that in an instant. It took us generations to do that.
It took Michael Jackson to do that.
Sure.
God damn it.
But I'm just saying, if you would talk like that in the 40s, people wouldn't know what you were talking about at all.
Yeah, it's coming, man. It's coming fast. You should probably get off Facebook, America. It's probably a good idea to not post your personal stuff on Facebook too much, because you're being put into this giant robotic machine, and then the machines will know you, and they'll probably start to con you, and then they'll probably come and murder everybody. The machines are coming, John.
I mean, they're already here. It's just, can we control ourselves and not create ones that are going to take us over?
Right.
The answer to that is probably no.
So it's not quite here. It has to be when the robots are all around us, and then it'll be easier for them to take over, right? So we have to be lulled into sleep for a while longer. We're getting there, though.
No, we're self-destructive by nature, so I'm sure we're going to find a way to make sure the robots and or AI takes over.
That's probably what we were. That's our own evolution, John. Honestly, it's probably our evolution is create the robots that destroy us.
It's meant to be, man.
I like it.
I'll see you in the caves. Speaking of, I'll see you in the caves. 8-year-old becomes youngest girl to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Age is just a number for 8-year-old Roxy Getter, who has become the youngest girl to conquer Mount Kilimanjaro. Roxy and her family, including her 10-year-old brother Ben from Punta Gorda, Florida, tackled the 19,341-foot mountain earlier this month during a family vacation to Tanzania. You ever take a family vacation to Tanzania?
Some bad motherfuckers.
Oh, those Tanzanians. Bobby said they had originally intended... who is Bobby? Bobby is her father, Bobby Getter. Bobby said they had originally intended to sign up for a safari when a friend suggested they look into hiking up Mount Kilimanjaro. Quote, I would not say that we felt confident, but we do love to hike, his wife Sarah Getter told InsideEdition.com. When we lived in Arizona, we did a lot of hiking, but being in Florida, there's not a lot of places to train. We did the best we could with stairs and biking and long walks. Sarah explained both Roxy and Ben had a history of heart issues, but were cleared to trek up the mountain by a cardiologist before they left. The family has also never done an overnight camping trip before and ended up spending nearly a week on the mountain. Although the trip was trying, Sarah said what they gained as a family could not have been replicated. Quote, we weren't sure if we could do it or not, but we all got together as a family and pushed towards it and made it to the top. From that experience, I think we've learned a lot of lessons, especially for the kids. Keep going even when things get hard. That's inspirational.
John, that is truly, truly amazing. It's really got me thinking. Like, we've got to get you to at least 10,000 feet because you've never been that high before. You need to match. Let's work your way up to being like this amazing 8-year-old.
I mean, here's the thing. If I could probably do it, I don't want to spend a week doing that.
You should probably spend a week doing it because it's like it'll be the most incredible journey of your life.
No, it wouldn't. Why?
Just
why would that be? Life is hard on flat surfaces, man.
Yeah, but dude, you get to this point, and literally when I did Yosemite through like John Muir, like on a 5-day hike, I got to this point where like we hit this little rocky cove with water splashing over in a nice swimming pool, and like I just had this moment 3 days in, completely sober, just hiking through the mountains, and like I felt as high as I've ever been on marijuana, and it was just this fucking beautiful natural high, man. It was just so beautiful out, amazing. You're like on top of pristine mountains, man. You don't even know what you're missing is the problem. You're thinking about the 5 days of chaos that it would cause your regular day-to-day life, but you're not thinking about the magic moment you'll have in the mountain where you remember that you're a human being.
Well, I feel like the world's gonna end soon enough that I'll probably have to take long, ridiculous hikes, but not for recreation. So why not just wait till then when I actually really need a solid natural high?
That's the most pathetic take ever. But I'm glad that I'm glad that Bobby.
If by pathetic you mean super reasonable, I feel like okay, I agree.
I'm glad that Bobby gave out some techniques so I can help you train like Ben and Roxy. You know, we'll get you up to, we'll start at like about 6,000 feet, about where, and then we'll go to like 8,000 feet, and then we'll bring you back down, and we'll let you catch your breath, and then the next time,
dude, let's just go to Everest, straight up. We'll go Everest right off the bat. I'll pack an extra pair of shorts.
I'm gonna need a Sherpa for that. I can't be your Sherpa for Everest, unfortunately.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not a parent, but if I were, it wouldn't sound fun to me. I'm going to drag my maybe not dragging, maybe they're super into it, but I'm going to take my 8 and 10-year-old up an almost 20,000 foot mountain. Ugh. It's hard to drag kids up and down Splash Mountain.
Yeah, now that's incredible. These kids are pretty amazing.
You're going to go Kilimanjaro? And apparently the 10-year-old's like the strongest one of the group.
Right, he's leading the pack.
In terms of the hiking.
Oh, man.
He was the emotional leader, they said.
That's how I'd roll. Shout out to Ben. That's probably what Jake Plummer would have been in that family, right?
Oh, easily. No question.
I mean, that says it all.
You know what they found at the top of Kilimanjaro?
His Broncos helmet, his Cardinals helmet.
I was going to say Jake Plummer. He was already there waiting, just encouraging
He has a dojo up there?
He's like, no, that's just his morning workout. He just runs on Kilimanjaro.
Meditates for...
Like Jerry Rice used to have the stairs or whatever he did, the hill. He used to run up that hill.
19,000 feet.
Jake Plummer's got Kilimanjaro.
19,000 feet. That's like 3 hours. 6 to 9. He just nails it. It's good. The snake. The snake, bro.
The snake's the best.
Kilimanjaro at the top like a furrow. Verified chicks wanna follow for a follow. Asking for my P, what the fuck I'm tryna borrow. Aiming at your knee when I'm swinging out my arrow. Couple up with me, couple up with me. Up your spree, no time to flee. Timber what I call when I push down the tree. I don't care who's on the lead. Kilimanjaro.
Jesse's favorite part of the show.
From last week.
Hello, folks.
A story about gonorrhea turned into a discussion about the movie Serendipity, starring Kate Beckinsale and John Cusack, which is definitely not about gonorrhea, but about fate bringing two people together, and about the famous dessert establishment in New York City. Nothing to do with STDs. But if I'm being honest, I couldn't follow the rest of the podcast because in discussing what happened, Travis says Derby derailed the story, and then all I could think about was the movie Derailed, starring Clive Owen and Jennifer Aniston, which, incidentally, doesn't have anything to do with trains or gonorrhea, but about blackmail. And so obviously, blackmail got me thinking about the opposite of blackmail, white chicks, which is a movie starring the Wayans brothers, about two FBI agents who go undercover. Which got me thinking of Undercover Brother, starring Eddie Griffin. I'm not really sure what this one is about, but I don't think it's about gonorrhea. But I'm starting to worry the Chain Reaction, starring Keanu Reeves and Morgan Freeman, about two researchers framed for treason. Treason, a 1933 film starring Buck Jones and Shirley Gray, who play Confederate sympathizers who have established the Republic of South Kansas and live their lives by their own dogma, a film starring Matt Damon and Alanis Morissette, where they make many references to Sodom and Gomorrah. Gomorrah always makes me think of gonorrhea. So, there you go. This is Jesse, and falling down a rabbit hole, like in Alice in Wonderland starring Johnny Depp and Mia Wasikowski. Sorry, what? I forgot what I was doing.
I see you. I wish I never met you. I wouldn't want to be you. And I don't want your gonorrhea.
It's time for the Facebook World News Update. This Real to Someone News Update is brought to you by Mount Kilimanjaro, also known as Jake Plummer's Staircase. A man in Los Angeles said masterminding with inspiring actors, plus less than 4 hours sleep, plus day one of a 4-day shoot, equals my tired grateful actor life. Hashtag Elite Challenge. A woman in Boston said nothing smells worse than an old lady fart. This chick just dropped one on the bus, and I swear to Christ, I almost suplexed that hoe. No.
Have you seen or heard Jake Plummer's comments about you from a radio interview that he did in Phoenix yesterday?
No, I have not heard.
Okay, let us put those up for just a moment, and I'll read them. Obviously, Jake Plummer played for the Broncos before Tim Tebow, and he said to a radio station in Phoenix, we have it up? There we are. I think Tim's a winner, and I respect that about him. I think that when he accepts the fact that we know he loves Jesus Christ, then I think I'll like him a little better.
Jake Plummer with the snake. Jake is at the goal line, and Jake's got a Denver touchdown.
He played 10 seasons in the NFL, his final 4 with the Denver Broncos.
I wouldn't change a thing about it because I played for the fun and the love of the game.
Quarterback Jake Plummer took countless hits before he retired.
I'm glad I called it quits when I did.
He wonders if those hits will come back to haunt him. The campaign explains chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, brain trauma. It's believed 96% of former NFL players suffer from it. CBD.
Found myself
CBD.
asking the question, was it worth it?
Plummer has taken it for about a year.
I can attest that it's definitely helped me, not just inflammation, but my mind, my mental clarity, my mood swings. I'm less aggressive if someone makes me mad.
What questions do you have for the government about the way Pat died?
I think we know how he died. It's just, who was calling the shots and why? And why would you lie? It gets back to what Pat was about, what he stood for. Give us a little bit of that integrity. Let's get that back to his family, because that's what he was about.
A man in Los Angeles said, "I'm so proud and honored to see the great job and excellent leadership and ideas by President Donald J. Trump every day. He is a far superior leader than any other president or world leader." A woman in Downey said, "To my friends whose men leave for business or jobs, how do you sleep at night? I'm going to have to get used to this, and I still don't have it down yet. Hashtag I miss him." A man in California said, "It's supposed to be cute and charming, but there are few things creepier than announcing you are gonna go use the little boy's room." This Real to Someone News Update is brought to you by Mount Kilimanjaro, also known as Jake Plummer's Staircase.
Jake the snake became my friend by chance. He said that he would teach me his favorite snake dance.
Dad's got notebooks. We don't know what's in her notebooks. She's gonna show us all her notebooks. Little yellow pad.
I don't know if you can hear that, but that is the ice cream man going by my house. It's about 5,000 degrees outside. It's like the surface of the sun, except there's an ice cream man. And then in my house, it's nice and cool. So I feel kind of like a jerk because it's nice here where I am. And out there, it's hot like the sun. But they have an ice cream man. And in my house, I just have piles of boxes full of things like my notebook, my Mead composition book that I'm going to talk to you about now. Anyway, the comp book, this is an like old school, kind of marbly black and white. It says Mead composition, 100 sheets, 200 pages. These are the perfect books because they last forever, like the binding stays. If you buy these cheap at like the dollar store, the paper will start to peel and disappear. So I actually have notebooks where there's no longer any covers. They're just like sewn pages. So this is from when I first moved to Los Angeles, except right inside there's a map of Bogota, Colombia, which I don't understand because that has nothing to do with me moving to Los Angeles. But throughout this book, there's like, I'm not going to read most of this to you, but there's stuff where I'm talking about moving here and I'm writing and I'm trying to meet people and I'm trying to get referred to people. I'm doing all that, crap everybody does. And then at some point during the course of this notebook, it skips over a year or two. And I have at this point gone to Michigan for a while to work on a video that I may have talked about before. Ended up as a TED Talk before TED Talks were cool. I think I said that like a couple of weeks ago. Whatever, it bears repeating. I got to do a video for TED Talk before TED Talks were cool. And the same group of guys that I did that with at some point, we did some game design. And then I got asked, I don't think I was hired. I may have made like $100 on this. I got asked to do greeting cards. So like write quips, sort of as I'm reading through them, I'm trying to remember what the whole point was. And I think I was asked to write smart ass greeting cards, not just nice greeting cards, because they were doing those sort of, internet greeting cards, but it was sort of before they were super famous. Super famous. That's not what I meant to say. Before they were super popular, before it was like a thing. This was a company that did a lot of early game design. And then they were, branching out to do online greeting cards. I don't know. And they're like, hey, Deb, why don't you write like 6,000 or 7,000 online greeting cards? And then we might pick 2 of them and then we'll give you $1. That's another note. If you're a writer, don't write for free. I mean, you can just write them in a notebook and then hope that, a long time down the line when you have nothing better to do, you can read them out loud and then no one will pay you then either. But you can make yourself laugh. And I mean, really, isn't that really what life's all about? I will say before I start, I did just send a picture of something I found. I just texted one of my friends with something that I had written for him. And he said it made him laugh. So it is worth it. It's worth it. So I just wanted to read you some of these quips is the whole point. Because I also wanted to share my creative process. So again, I think the brief was come up with something smart ass. So I wrote down a list of holidays so I could sort of try and focus. So I wrote down, every holiday that possibly existed and then ones no one ever knew about or thought about. And, engagement, Labor Day. No one sends Labor Day card. St. Patrick's Day, Yom Kippur. By the way, my Yom Kippur greeting card was very popular. It was repent or else. That's a good one. I do remember that one. But here's one. You're not over the hill. You've just had an altitude change. That's really terrible. And I'm sure it's actually probably been on a greeting card. But, that's pretty standard. Here's another one. I like this. You're the best. Well, I'm the best, but you're pretty good. That's not great either, right? Here's another one. I didn't know you had it in you. Thank God it got out before we had a serious medical condition on our hands. God, that's terrible. No wonder I didn't get paid. Here's a good one. Don't be an asshole, comma, fuckhead. Yeah, I don't know. That one seems a little darker than the rest, but that actually kind of made me laugh. But here, so as you flip through this notebook, these are all the ones I rejected, right? I get to a list where there's actually numbers, so I think these are the ones that I submitted. So I'm just going to read you a couple of these. This is an Easter poem. A fuzzy bunny's on his way with candies for the pickin'. And if the candies won't suffice, remember, bunny tastes like chicken. That's a good one. Yeah. Here's another one. It takes a big person to admit they're wrong. So go ahead. Yeah, that's not funny. I don't understand how these ended up being my best ones. I didn't know you had it in you. A friend like you is hard to find. Do you think next time maybe you could leave a forwarding address? I'm pretty sure I've seen that one before. Do you think Guy stole it from them or they stole it from me? I don't know. I mean, you know how they always say that ideas develop in parallel across the world. So, I guess they also say that if you put like enough monkeys at a typewriter and let them go for long enough, they're going to write Shakespeare. So I'm going to guess you probably need less monkeys and less typewriters to get some electronic greeting cards. I really think that I have enjoyed this walk down memory lane. But it's time for me to go. I'm going to leave you with this. This is a few pages after the numbered one, so I don't think this was ever submitted. But if you want, if you want to steal this one, you go right ahead. All right, here it goes. Ode to a cockroach. On my floor he sits and thinks, dear God, what have I wrought? Underneath the floors and sinks, and sometimes in your food. I don't know what holiday or special occasion that's for, but I'm going to try and come up with a little doodle for it. I'll let you know. Have a good week. I'm going to go find the ice cream man.
I've brought bread
to men, women, and children.
I've brought water with lemon for the table.
I have hot tea.
Can I box that for you?
I'll bring your change.
You guys are probably going to get sick of hearing us. But when people keep throwing these things at us, we got to keep coming back with stories. So,
dude, this has to be a Jake Plummer story, right?
No, God, dude, if it was, I don't have an actual, like, the closest one I have is, what, he like a tweet or something? I forgot. I think he liked a tweet.
Oh,
that's as close to a personal Jake Plummer story as I have.
He retweeted you, right?
I don't even know. It wasn't even that. I think he liked one of my tweets because it was directly about him, but sort of accidentally because it was through you.
Well,
anyways, not the point.
That's all we're going for on this podcast is just a heart.
Hey, I mean, any interaction with Jake Plummer makes you a better person. Fact. But I don't consider myself to be a narc. Not a tattletale. Not a person that likes to, I don't rat people out. I'm no rat. But a couple weeks ago, guy at the bar, I already can tell, like, as soon because he'd already been there. Like, I get there at night. I get there for the night shift. He was leftover from the day shift, which is always a bad sign. And he's right off the bat being annoying, asking about how tall I am and this and that. And so my shtick is when people ask how tall I am, I always make them guess first. Because then if they say something ridiculous, I get to clown them before they can talk about how tall I am. And so he says like 6'5", or like I think he said like 6'3" to start, and I was like, nah, a little bit taller. And then he's like 6'5", and I'm like, yeah, you got it. He's like, oh man, that's crazy. You're 6'5", blah blah blah. And he's like, I'm 6'2", and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, no one cares. And so, but he keeps on with it. He's like, oh man, that's crazy, right? Like I guessed it. It's like 6'5" exactly. Like you're 6'5", and I guessed it like exactly. And I'm like, okay, because he said that probably like 2 or 3 times, and so I was like, well, I'm probably a little bit over that, but yeah, you got it. I'm 6'5". He's like, nah, I think you're like exactly like 6'5", and I'm like, okay, fine, 6'5" it is, great. And then he starts talking about the girl that I'm working with, who happens to be about 6 feet tall. She's a very tall woman, sorry. And so he keeps asking her how tall she is, and she says, I'm 6 feet tall. And he says, no, you can't be. I'm 6'2", and I'm definitely taller than you. keeps going on, and I just won't let it go. And then he insists that she come and measure herself next to him, to which she obliges. And turns out she's probably about a hair taller than he was. And so everyone's like, oh, damn, because he was claiming to be 6'2", and she claimed to be 6 feet, and she was probably about a hair taller than he was. So, and then he's, oh, well, you're wearing shoes, blah, blah. He's a fool. So he's still up there for a little while longer, and him and his girl are talking, and apparently they're fighting, but not real loud. I don't hear any of it, but it's going on, going back and forth. People at the bar are involved, giving them relationship advice. It's kind of a whole thing. And then at some point, they both get up and leave. Bartender I'm working with, it says, hey, I think they're going to run out on their check. So I leave from behind the bar, but I just keep an eye on them through the window, because I don't like to just approach people like they're stealing right off the bat. I like to know. And so they were just outside kind of arguing. I think the girl had a cigarette. So I'm just keeping an eye on them. And then they head back in. So I go back behind the bar, and then they come in. And they said, hey, we're going to have some dinner instead. Okay, cool. Set them up for food, and they keep talking, kind of arguing. The woman gets up and goes out front. And then the guy's sitting there by himself. And he says to me, hey, where's the bathroom at? And I say, yeah, it's right over here. So he gets up, and I already know that this guy's not going to the bathroom. I know he's doing something shady. So he gets up, takes about 3 steps toward the bathroom, pivots, and then takes off through the front door. And then I follow him, and he's walking to his car. He's parked right up front, and he's getting in his car, and I say, what are you doing? He gets in the car. He starts the car up, and what are you doing? He backs up. I'm looking at him with my arms up, and he puts his finger up like, give me a second, and then he shoots out of the parking lot. And I, memorize his license plate. I come back inside. I write it down. I am so hot right now. I am fuming at this guy. So I go to my boss. I say, you need to call the cops. I want this guy to go to jail. Gave him the license plate number. He's talking to cops, telling him where he was, what he was driving, blah, blah, blah. We go and get the girlfriend from outside, make her come pay the tab. And then she catches an Uber or something, because that's what she was outside waiting for anyways. And then, yeah. So hopefully, and I was told, I don't know if this is true, but I was told that in that situation, even if they don't like pull him over on the road, that they will go to his house. But I don't know if any of that's actually true.
Holy shit, John, I'm so proud of you.
I forgot to mention this. The dude left an empty wallet on the bar top.
Good move.
Like, he cleaned out his wallet but left it up there like, oh, hey, I'm leaving this while I go to the bathroom.
What was he drinking? That's my first question.
Just wine. He was drinking wine.
Red or white?
Red.
So most likely what happened is he's a broke chump, couldn't pay for it, and he was just expecting this girl to pay for it, right?
But doesn't she already know he's a broke chump? She's with the guy.
Yeah, but even, like, she walked outside and, like, left the tab on him, and he just ran.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's what it is.
Which I thought was part of the plan was, well, hey, if we're going to fight or whatever, I'm going to leave you with the check. Or the check's going to get bounced on, and who cares? This was like a $160 check. This was not a small tab.
I bet you she could have paid for it. I bet you. How old was she?
I mean, they were probably about the same age, late 20s.
Oh, yeah, she could have paid for it.
Ish. Maybe early 30s. It's a little hard to tell, but right around there.
She could have paid for it. That's what I'm banking on.
No, she did. She came in and paid for it.
Right. And then, yeah, gotcha.
We made her close it out. But, like, it just doesn't make it. What an ass. Screw that guy.
It was like
try and dip on that
second
check.
date.
Whether he was trying to leave on it altogether or just stick her with it, the whole where's the bathroom move, oh, that pissed me off.
I know you got into rage mode, huh?
I really did. I wanted to man. I thought I want to kick his car. I had all sorts of thoughts in my head, but I was restrained because I was at work.
Yeah, I mean, you're restrained because you're not an idiot as well. Like, I don't think.
Well, that also true. But
like the last
in my private life, I might have taken a shot at that car. I might have kicked that car.
Like, my glasses being thrown off my face is the only way I get into rage mode. You know, I'm like Cyclops.
Well, yeah.
Fucking Cyclops. No, that's crazy, man.
That,
like, do you feel a little bit guilty? Like, you can't listen to, any like hip hop music anymore? Like any hardcore rap talking about narcs and shit? Like, you're a narc, man.
Well, I did feel a little bit. I did have a very brief moment of feeling a little bit uncool. Like, man, I got super old man, get off of my lawn with this guy. But he was he was annoying from the start. And then you go and try to ruin my night, and then you make me the mark of, oh, I'm going to dip on this check. No, I didn't like any of that. Screw that guy.
Yeah, if he was on my lawn, I would have shot him. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just get off my lawn,
But
motherfucker.
I don't know if they'll actually. I hope. I'm being honest. I hope they went to his house and arrested him. Screw that guy.
I doubt it. They probably just stuffed it in the
I
back.
do
file
too.
of,
Actually,
like,
I do too.
They hit the donut shop and get stuffed in the. They hit Yum
It's
Yums.
what, if he hit someone on the way home, then yeah, they would probably bring it up.
Yeah,
it'd probably get mentioned. But if he made it home safe, I don't think they're probably going to pursue it.
You put a little tick on his record, though. You did, sir. You put a little tiny tick on his record.
Nothing. Hey,
maybe 2-3 things built up. That was like, hey, I'll pull this fucking guy over.
yeah. Even if nothing else, if it keeps him out of the building, if I don't ever have to talk to that dude again, worth it too.
Yeah, that was the worst at fucking the place we worked together.
Because the girlfriend knows that we called the cops because we told her straight up, you need to close this check, and we called the cops on your boyfriend.
Yeah, you just got to cut people off and get them fucking out. Bye.
Wow.
Just kick them out.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm never afraid to cut people off, but
no,
why would you ever put me in a position? You're a grown ass person.
Exactly. And sometimes it's more problematic. There's some tricks in the game. I've been known to water down some drinks. I've been known to pour no alcohol at all.
Dude, I do the same trick every time. Yeah. I ignore like 2 requests in a row for another drink, and then if the third one comes, because usually they just forget.
Yeah.
And they'll move on.
Yeah.
But if by the third time they're like, hey, can I get another? And I'll be like, you know what? I think you're good.
Put a water down in front of them and walk away. That's a good.
Oh, sure. All sorts of things.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, yeah, no, I'll get that for you in a minute. And then I'll just go get busy and do something else. And
like if you can be that drunk
at
a bar,
buying time,
you
and
deserve
hopefully
to get
they'll make
ripped
a
off.
different decision.
If you're going to be that drunk at a bar, you deserve to get ripped off. That's all there is to it. I'll
I
take
don't
your money
disagree.
and I'll fucking pour you a little bit. There you go, buddy. Good job.
Control yourself in public, no matter what you're doing.
Keep going.
Control yourself.
Keep drinking. All right, John, beautiful story. I'm sorry that I cannot trust you anymore, but I'm not going to tell you any more of my criminal secrets.
Come on.
I'm going to have to pull
I'm a good egg.
I'm going to have to pull the Seed Bank podcast off the internet just because you'll link to my actual seed.
I had to be a square just for a moment. Pissed me off.
But
but that's how you know that I'm not a narc, because I didn't do it out of the greater good. I did it because I was pissed off.
I get it.
It's like ratting out a fellow drug dealer because you need the territory.
Do you want to go back to the mountain?
Not quite the same.
Who are we going back to? You want to go back to the mountain, or you want to go back to Jake Plummer, or do you want to go back to the mountain that Jake Plummer climbs every morning? Like, that's
Kilimanjaro.
Exactly. Why don't you just channel your inner Jake Plummer and stop being so soft and having rage moments like that? You need to like balance it out, John. That's it.
Hey, even Jake Plummer had a rage moment. Traffic incident. Look it up.
All right. He's flawed, like the rest of us then.
Hey, he kicked a car. I'm just saying. That's probably why I reacted the same way, wanting to kick that car, because that's what the snake would have done.
Well, I wouldn't want to be that car. That's for damn sure.
No, me neither. Or the person in it.
Yeah. Probably rolled over.
To incite such rage from the snake?
How many times do you think it rolled over?
Probably still going.
It's breaking the laws of physics.
Which also proves it's not a flat earth.
Dude, why are you busting on Kyrie? He's coming to the Suns. Don't do that. We can't bust on Kyrie. So. He's gonna sell jerseys for the first time they can sell those stupid purple jerseys.
It's not stupid purple. I like the jersey.
John, I think we got a big happy birthday to give out, don't we?
Oh, we do. I'm glad you remember.
Man, whose birthday is it, John? I forget.
You forget?
I don't forget.
It's the one and only, man.
Deb Loftus' birthday. Happy birthday, Deb.
Deb. Happy birthday. Did you text her or anything? Did you send her an email on her birthday?
No, I do audio transmissions to people. This is how you live in the mountains,
you
John.
You didn't post on Facebook at least?
I haven't been on Facebook in a year and a half or a year and a month since I moved to Ottawa. I'm not on any social media, John. I have a robot that does my social media. It's amazing. So I only communicate with the world through audio transmissions. If you want to talk to me, come to Ottawa. I don't even answer my phone. It's insane.
Yeah, might be better for everybody.
Exactly. You're the one.
But don't you worry.
You're the luckiest person.
I took care of it. I took 2 separate memes to Deb.
Happy birthday, Deb.
That's
Love you. Thank you so much. That's how you know I
like you as a person.
Yeah. Thanks for everything you do, Deb. You're amazing. Love you.
The best, Deb. Every day should be your birthday. Besides the getting older thing. But in terms of celebrating you, showering you with gifts.
All right, John. Who else we got to thank?
Well, come on. We got to thank Jesse. He's always
Mr.
Rock
McIntosh.
solid Macintosh.
I've got a good pitch for Jesse. I want them to make this sketch. I was really upset by it last night. It's when, John, have you ever been at a woman's house and this is, I'm not
Yes.
trying to be sexist here, but okay, so you're sitting on the couch and like they have HBO Go or they've got an Apple TV and you're ready to watch a TV show, and inevitably it takes them 6 hours to figure out their password every single time, and it drives me nuts. Like by the time the show's on, I'm asleep. Done. What do you think? That's my pitch.
See, I've always been the one that I've always been trusted with passwords and things. So it usually falls on me to be the guy who does it.
Well, yeah,
which is scary because I'm not really technically inclined.
But you've never left your apartment, so that makes sense. Yeah, you got your password down at your apartment. I'm saying when you go to someone else's house.
Right, no, that's what I'm... Ass, you didn't listen to what I said. I would be entrusted with the password so that I become responsible for such things.
Oh, you're the gatekeeper.
Yes.
Holy shit. I didn't know I was talking to
The
gatekeeper.
the responsibility gets passed on to me because I'm a person to be trusted, which is probably why this poor woman just fiddles around for hours on end versus trusting you with said password.
Well, that makes the sketch even better. That's where you walk in.
Right.
The gatekeeper remembers.
Yeah.
All right, John, who
That's
else we
why
got
it's
to
like,
thank?
so I get it, but...
More shout-outs.
What do we got to...
More
Yeah.
shout-outs.
Oh, I've got two more. I'm going to shout out Mike again because we were talking about Jake Plummer, which inspired this whole thing. And I got to give a shout out to Jared Hankinson. He was asking about the podcast. I sent him the link and whatnot, if nothing else for the Amazon purposes. And then he texted me the next morning. All he said was bat draft with an exclamation mark. So he listened. So he gets a shout out.
Whoa. Shout out. Shout out. It was a Mike and Jared, right? Shout out to Mike and Jared.
Mike and Jarrett with a T.
Oh, Jarrett. Gotcha.
2 T's.
Mike and
to
Jarrett.
Be specific.
John, where can the people find us?
Thanks, fellas.
John, where can the people find us?
Oh, 86charles.com. Lock it in.
86charles.com?
No password necessary. 86charles.com.
All right, we're on the Instagram and the Twitters at Company Blaster. Throw us a message, send us a link. We still want to know if Rush sucks. I haven't got enough. But now that my name is Travis Rush Spencer, I've got to really think about it, you know?
Didn't Rick chime in right off the bat that he thinks Rush sucks too?
I tried to stay off the internet after that. Like I said, my robot didn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
I heard a good from Joshua Tree, from the band Drug. Shout out to Jamie and Chrissy, got some love for drugs. So, you know, let's keep it rolling, drug fans. It's going to be all right.
Hell yeah.
John, I think it's
Yo.
that time, is it not?
Feels like it.
I hope you've really been thinking about it this week, because you need to have...
Oh, I've got it.
You need to have Jake Plummer as your spirit animal as you 86 something.
Yeah, no, I do. Obviously I do. Constantly, but especially in this moment. It's overdue. I haven't mentioned it, but we're going to 86 Jay Cutler. I'm cleaning that up because I don't like to beep. That's not what I normally call him, though. 86 Jay Cutler from actively playing in the NFL. Thank God. The league's a better place. The world's a better place. Now we just got to find a way to get him out of the booth so we don't have to look at that ridiculous chin every week. You weak-minded, soft-armed bastard. You cost this world how many years of Jake Plummer's career? Because of God knows what you did to Mike Shanahan? Curse you both. Jake Plummer, greatest living American. Son of a bitch. Less than 48 hours after we recorded this, God punched Ryan Tannehill in the knee, ending his season, all in an effort to curse me once more with Jay goddamn Cuntler. Apparently, this cockbag piece of shit, clown fucking asshat, went and undid the one good thing he ever did on the football field, which was retire from it. And now he has gone and unretired to ruin football for Miami Dolphins fans for about 6 games, give or take. Now we have to watch this gutter fart stand around and be disinterested until inevitably he goes and tears his perineum and is out for the rest of the season until he has to retire again, all while hijacking $10 million from Miami. Great. Jake Plummer, still greatest living American.
Whoa. Dude, don't you want to, like, listen to him a little bit just to fuel your hate a little bit more?
No.
Just a little
No.
bit. It'll fuel your hate.
What is he? He does. He like. I hate his face. His face tells you he doesn't care about anything. Cares about nothing.
Isn't 86ing him from the field enough? Like, he's gone. Like, we can't. We want to hear him.
It helps.
But don't you want?
It helps.
No, you want to watch.
But I would like. I mean,
but if you hate him this much, you want to watch him fail and then rise a little bit.
Least favorite
fail
NFL
again,
player ever,
fail.
hands down. Possibly least favorite athlete ever. I'd have to think about that a little harder, but quite possibly my least favorite athlete ever.
Oof. I've softened on Manu Ginobili, but he used to be mine.
Oh my God! How dare you,
Manu?
Ginobili!
Kilimanjaro, yeah. Kilimanjaro, yeah. Kilimanjaro, Kilimanjaro.
The new boy in the neighborhood lives downstairs and it's understood. He's there just to take good care of me, like he's one of the